excited to have joining on our little webinar about how you can grow your business, your practice by leveraging remote virtual teams. I'm really excited to take you through short. I'm going to promise I'm going to keep it about 20 minutes. We're going to talk about an introduction to outsourcing, insourcing as we call it. We're going to talk about the different models and what are the different ways in which you can outsource. We're going to look at the benefits, get into the challenges you may have, and then also we'll open it up so you can ask some questions. So I am going to take you through a little presentation of what we have to show you, and we will start from here. So this is what we call outsourcing. Again, insourcing, uncovered everything you need to know. So what we're going to look at and cover today is we are going to look at defining outsourcing. We're going to give you a little introduction. We're going to cover some of the common misconceptions about outsourcing. We're going to look at how to successfully utilize them in your remote teams. What are those roles that you can outsource today? You want to know that as well. Like, what are the roles within a dental practice in your business that you can outsource? And then we're going to talk about how to get started as well. So there's three types. When you look at outsourcing remote teams, you've got onshoring. Typically, that's going to be in the same time zone and in your country. So for instance, if you're in Dallas, Texas, it could be utilizing somebody in Los Angeles or Kansas City, Florida, somewhere within close proximity and onshore. Near shore would be where I'm at now, Costa Rica. Our office here in Costa Rica would be a near shore. It's very near to the US, and it's also typically in the same time zone or time zone range. And then you have offshoring. For us, that's our offices in Zimbabwe and Zambia. And those are, just as it says, they're offshore. Going to be typically in another time zone that's out of the scope of what you see in your home country, or for us, the US. I like to use this screen. It does talk a little bit about where we are. We've got our current centers, Zimbabwe, Zambia. I'll use this slide again later. But top right-hand building is our center in Zimbabwe. The middle one is in Zambia, and the bottom is in Costa Rica. So common misconceptions, what are those? What are some things that are commonly heard or thought of when you think about outsourcing? Again, as we like to say, insourcing. Some of those can be quality of work that, I'm used to having a high quality of work in my business here in the US or where I'm located, maybe in Canada. And I'm going to expect it to be lower. That is definitely not the case, and we'll cover that. Loss of control, and that it's going to replace some jobs. This is really an opportunity. Yes, it could be replacing some jobs. It could be that you're replacing some roles, that maybe some attrition internally, and you said, you know what, I need to outsource this. I don't have the space. I don't have the time to manage it. And it could be that you're replacing that with something outside of your office or even offshore. There's also the thought of the lost control, that you're going to be handing over these tasks. It means I'm losing the control of my operations. Again, not the case. You still can get regular KPIs. You can set these metrics which you want to measure, reporting, frequency, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever it is you're looking at that you want to measure. So you do not lose that control. You also control the circumstances where maybe you have the wrong person in the wrong seat, or the wrong right person in the wrong seat, whichever way that may be. You have that opportunity to control that. Language and culture barriers. There is that in some of outsourcing. There's some of that in onshoring even. I think what you're going to find is with us, at least, you're going to have a very nice English accent, a little bit of, I like to say, a little Queen's English, and also the cultural barriers. Many times that's true. If you get over into Asia and some of the culture is quite different, which makes it difficult to integrate those into your office. We're going to overcome some of those. Outsourcing is only for administrative tasks. That's not true as well. There's everything from the creative side and the marketing, and then you can go on to high end for CTO or your CIO, as well as many of the roles for building applications that you may be able to utilize as well, even up to accounting, like the controller level. So lots of things besides the low end. And also that it's complicated to implement. It's not complicated to implement. We can have people up and running in 5 business days. We've done it. And then also it's not a one size fits all. For instance, yes, outsourcing sometimes is thought of as a big call center, and I'm going to have 50 employees to make this worth. For us, it's as little as one. So we're going to talk about some of those common misconceptions as we go to. Whether you're choosing us or whether you're choosing another partner, think about these 10 areas that are important. Experience and reputation. How long have they done it? Do you have experience? How do you train? What services do you offer? Are there just a small amount, or do you have just a plethora of services within their plethora? I like that word. Word just popped in my head. Plethora of services that you can offer. Quality assurance. Can you guarantee reporting and quality? Are they HIPAA compliant? Is the PHI, is it protected? What kind of technology infrastructure? How quick can I scale? Many companies operate on a production, so it's a performance based versus a fixed cost. Know your expectations of what your billing is going to be. And then we talk about communication. I was on a call recently where they said, "Am I going to be able to communicate your team member?" I said, "Good, gosh, I hope so, because we expect that on a daily basis." Contract versus no contract, and then kind of ties in with the HIPAA compliancy is the cybersecurity protection. We'll talk about that cybersecurity in the dental business. Obviously, at the top of the list. We have gone to extra steps with the current environment. Everybody's aware of all of the phishing is going on, as well as hacking, ransoms that are happening in the medical space. So we partner with Black Talon Security. Black Talon is not an IT company; they are a cybersecurity company, and they give us real-time autonomous remediation, which you see there. We have mandatory training by our teams. They have to go through a mandatory test, and they're constantly doing upgrades and continuing education for our teams as well. And then they do regular pen testing just to see that we are compliant. All of our team members go through a HIPAA compliance, HIPAA certification course, which is done with Abide. And we are now doing some concurrent training for them as well as they've been on teams. And some of that policy, as you know, can change. So we'll try to keep up with the latest and greatest. What are some of the operational impacts of outsourcing team members? Number one, enhance staffing efficiency. We can do it fast. People show up to the interviews. So I think getting efficiency in the staffing can help. And as we'll see later, the lower attrition. Streamline the training and onboarding. No, we're not completely trained up to what your expectations will be for the training process, but we are going to put them through a certification course, and they will be trained to a level in which they can come in and do most of the tasks that are associated with that office as well. So understanding the training and the onboarding is really important as you look at the operational impact. Reduced HR and administrative burdens, that's self-explanatory. You're not having the payroll, all the legal compliance, all the business BAAs, et cetera. Those are being done in-house, which makes it really, really good. Or outside our house, not your house. Consistent patient experience, high consistency with the patient communication and care, very, very important for all practices. Financial impact, significant cost savings. You're going to see anywhere between 45 and 60%, depending on the role. That's across the board, as well as the benefits that go along with that, as you're well aware of. Elimination of hidden costs. Ours is a flat fee. There are no technology fees, et cetera, that come along with it. We eliminate those hidden costs. Minimal turnover, which again, we'll go through here in just the next slide. And scalable financial benefits. Again, you can scale this fast, whether you need 1, 5, or 20. We've done 50 team members in as short as 45 days. Turnover and attrition, always a hot subject. I mean, everybody knows now. I can't tell you the number of times that I've talked to people. They don't show up for interviews. They stay a short period of time. They get an offer for 50 cents more. They go out the door. So this is real important. Now, the 3 that we have identified are actual companies, and you can see that their rates can vary between somewhere in that 7%, I believe, up to about 11 or 12%. And that is on a monthly basis. Annualized out, You can see that can be 119 down to 96. For us, our voluntary, which means team members who are quitting because they're getting another job or they're unhappy, is at 0.52%. That includes our far shore, Zimbabwe, Zambia, as well as our near shore, which would be in Costa Rica or here in Costa Rica. And that comes out to be just a little over a 6% annualized. I can guarantee you offices, DSOs, businesses in general are nowhere near that rate. And we think that's what makes it pretty special. Cost savings, kind of a quick rundown for what this looks like. You'll see everything from a dental coordinator. I'll go into a little bit in a slide here in a minute about what does the dental coordinator do or what are they trained on. You can see that's as much as a 54, 55% savings. Director of First Impressions. We love that name. Every time we mention it, somebody says, I'm stealing it. I'm like, well, it's okay. I stole it too. That is the person answering your phone. That's the person that's the first point of contact, maybe from a marketing effort. And you want that to give them the time and attention, which we won't get into missed call rates, but you can imagine if you're missing national average 32% in a dental office, missing 32% of your calls, this is something that can help alleviate it. And also they're going to spend time with them. Hygiene coordinator, got a number. We got one client and a fairly large DSO uses us as the hygiene coordinator and have improved by over 30% in a span of only about 90 days. And then accounting support, purchasing coordinator, and we actually have controllers, which can be a big savings. Talking to a gentleman yesterday, controller in his neighborhood was $175,000 a year. So replace that 12.5, and you see that's more like a 70% savings, or maybe 75. What are some of the roles that you could do today? Director of First Impressions, unscheduled treatment plans, reactivation of those patients that have fallen out of 12 months, 18 months. Your hygiene recare, again, a growing concern, keeping those butts in the seat, keeping that revenue, those schedules, those white spaces filled in. Insurance verification, which is kind of the start of our revenue cycle management. We actually have a full revenue cycle management team, RCM director that runs that. We have doing appointment confirmations, executive personal assistants, major time that you can recoup, especially if you're in a management role, C-suite level, or you're looking to regain some time. AP, payroll, bookkeeping, controllers we mentioned, marketing, IT support, et cetera. Those are roles that you could delegate quite quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these slides. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to look at these, just really quickly. Director of First Impressions, what do they do? Enhancing the patient experience. This one's really important because we know your front office is busy. They're not lazy. They're probably just really busy. Well, they could be lazy, but most likely they're just really busy. They're answering the phone. They're greeting the people coming in. They're handling the people that are exiting. It's a busy operation. Director of First Impressions can help you leverage a really, really good patient experience. New patient calls, scheduling, confirming appointments, getting reviews. Super important to get those reviews. A link for paperwork, if you want that done in advance, they can be in a position to be sending that out in advance. And most importantly, building trust and confidence with your patients. Dental coordinator, these are the things we train on. We train on some of these basic roles: verification, tree care, unscheduled treatments, billing and collections, confirming appointments. All of this are areas that we do training when we do our certification for our dental coordinators. Insurance coordinator, you can have somebody designated to be specifically around the insurance process. You can see there's a number of processes that have to take place from the beginning to the end of that life cycle for a claim. Finance and accounting, we've covered this. Controllers, assistant controllers, finance manager. We've had a couple of DSOs now who have said, look, I'm scaling my finance department, and they're actually starting with the controller and then having that person build out their team underneath them, which has been really effective and quite successful. And we actually are developing some SOPs and protocols, some training plans for that, so we can help you when you have questions. Executive assistant, really big. You could have an executive assistant for your personal branding. You could do it for project management, or for me, I've also had one to help me with business development and sales. So however you can help, or however you can leverage an executive assistant. These are, again, some of those tasks. Think about these tasks. This is really big to me. Look at those tasks that take you a lot of time, whether it's travel arrangement, calling back appointments, taking notes at meetings, updating your SOPs, taking minutes from me, all of that. Takes a lot of time. Email, huge time absorber. Now, for us, what makes us unique? Kind of go back to that original slide. What are some of the obstacles? Here's what makes us unique that actually tackles each one of those areas. We don't have any long term contracts. We have a 90-day integration period. Look, it takes that. If you hired somebody in your office, it's going to take 90 days before they feel comfortable in doing the role that you have. And so, important that you get them integrated there in that 90 days. Then we have a 30-day out at any time after that. So, initially upfront 90 and then 30, full time dedicated. We don't do any sharing of resources. When you hire a team member, and we refer to them as team members, not employees or outsourcing or person A or person B, they are your team member. Treat them as such. University educated, 94%, I believe it is, of all of our team members have a university education, which is a British style system and really, really good. Speak the Queen's English. I get made fun because I use my little Queen's English voice, but that is probably the most impressive piece when you look at what we do. And no work from home. When we talk about PHI, HIPAA, cybersecurity, attendance, power, we can go on and on. The fact that we bring them to our centers to work is really, really big. What are some of the things that make us successful in what we do? It's some of this. Look, if you want to keep your attrition down, even in your own practice internally, so let's say internally, and then onshore, and then offshore, and then nearshore. When we look at all of those, these are important regardless of how you're doing it. We've got a private coffee shop that we have on site called The Grind. Team members can actually go down and utilize, get cappuccinos, espressos, whatever they want, as well as lunches in our team room, which is only reserved for them. Transportation, they're working the same hours as you, right? They're working maybe 3 p.m. to midnight. How do they get home? The way they get home is through our transportation. We've got a complete transit system, which takes people actually to their doors. Pastoral care, I think one of the most important things, we are genuinely concerned about the health, well being of all of our teammates. And you heard that, teammates, right? Because they are our teammates. And we have a complete pastoral care team that when they have issues, when they're struggling with anything emotional, financially, physical, health reasons, family members, whatever that is, we have pastoral care that is able to come in and assist them in their time of need. Health insurance, we provide the health insurance, they call it medical aid. We provide that. And we also have what's called our wellness center. We have a medical facility inside of our office that houses 2 doctors as well as 4 nurses. We're open 9 to 9, so they're able to utilize those services. So we're concerned about their health, and we also want them to be able to get access to this good private care. Class A work facility, top right-hand corner, you'll see there's our building again. And we're in actually 7 floors now of that building, 19 floors. And we really take a lot of pride in excellence of our facilities. We even have a chief fun officer, our CFO. We want people to enjoy work. We got ministry opportunities, and also we operate a very professional work environment. Again, the know your why is all about knowing what you're doing for the kingdom. So we know our why. Ours is a win-win-win. A win for our teammates, they get a job. A win for our clients who get amazing people. And then a win for the kingdom where we donate 51% of our profits. That is truly our why. So what do you do to get started? We can onboard your new team member in as little as 5 days. It's a discovery call. We select some candidates to fit your need. We do a client video interviews. That's where you get to meet the team members. You select the best fit for your company, and then the onboarding begins. Again, we've done it in as little as 5 days, and we can do it quick for you. So a little place there you can click if you want to schedule a discovery call. You can also go to supportdds.com, or you can call the number listed as well. We would also love to get a book in your hands, and we think it's important when you look at the opportunity. Let's see, I'll take that off as well. I think you can probably see the book here, and it is Outsourcing Redefined. And we would love to get a copy of this in your hand if we can. So sorry about the little technical snafu there. Went a little bit over that 20 minutes. If you didn't catch everything, we apologize. I better not be in my house in Costa Rica next time. I might as well be in the office as well. So wanted to say thank you. Thank you. I hope that gives you a little bit of an insight into what it means when we talk about outsourcing or insourcing. The other thing I would like to bring to your attention is that if you want a copy of this PowerPoint, if you'll just email me, jw at supportdds.com, jw at supportdds.com. Happy to send you a copy of this as well and let you take a look at that. So anyway, wanted to say thank you. Have a great week, and thanks for joining in.